Okay, so today what we'll do, we will cover one scenario in little bit more depth. That is the regular task which we do deployment. If you get any issues, while deploying, which are main bullet points where you can check for troubleshooting. So the common what we do while doing deployment, if we get any errors, you may expect issue with var file, and based on the error code, well, sometimes you will try to redeploy it, it works. And if you want to know the process about the which step, and how the flow of deployment, it would be like this. Yeah, first you will specify the location of your enterprise application, and and to bullet, if I give you just bullets, right, important points while deploying, these are the important place where the AR file which we use, right, it would get uploaded. So first, it will upload the AR file at some temporary location, and yes, and if it's already being recorded. And next, after the installation, and every time we have discussed earlier, after the installation, the ER file would be loaded in the installed apps. If at all you expect something like when you get errors like 404 document not found, error code, 404, and the 404 is very common error code. If you get 404, it's like, 404 means the URL which your user is trying, that code might not be existing in the database. In that cases, you can go to installed apps and you can check the application EAR file, and the extract that EAR file, and and see whether the URL which user is trying to access exists or not. And so yeah, this is where the installed EAR files resides. And even even in between, during the process, where exactly the EAR file would reside, even in the config, right, in the cells, the applications here also EAR file would be residing during deployment. And even the port numbers would be updated in the server index.xml. And so application bindings would be happened at this place. I mean, binding means all connection related configurations. And yeah, and yeah, synchronization across multiple nodes. I mean, so you are seeing cell name and then nodes, and so finally, it synchronizes with all the XML files, and application, and then even with this route. So final step is synchronization. I mean, this step, this is just a flow. It may help you while doing troubleshooting. If at all, if you face any issues while deploying, you can check this document. So I'll share you this document, and you can go through it. I'll place whichever document I want to share you. I'll place in this location. So this document is just giving you the flow, about deployment. So if you face an issue while doing troubleshooting, you can just remember the points which I told in this document, and you can refer. And apart from that, let me let me see if there are any applications. I believe there are no applications in this deploy manager. Well, if you have some applications, you can select the application and export also. Even if you export, right, you will get applications EAR file, but there you won't get application in EAR file. You will get in a zip file format, which would be easy to read for the computer. there are no applications, but if you have any applications, you can select the application, and you can export. So export will take the backup of your application, and the same application you can deploy in your development environment, and you can do some test purposes. So you can even use this for backup purpose. So you can you can export your application, okay, and you can do practice in your development environment. So this is a little bit more about deployment. And yeah, if Raghu comes, we will see how to check the URL of applications we have covered earlier. We will revise that once Raghu comes. So this is one thing. And next topic, let us see about the request flow. Mhm. Okay. Well, request flow, if we say, right, this is, yeah, next, today actually what I want to say, we have covered syllabus. So now, right now, it's a time to dig and go in depth anything which we want. So the basic syllabus is not to you, Neha, except you, for everyone. The syllabus is covered. So yeah, so what I want to say is, now it's the time to do practice. And you have to dig any topic, right? You can take, and you can dig around, go in depth, and do some R&D. And so that's why I just gave a little bit more idea about deployment. So any topic, if you dig, right, it's a ocean, I mean, not ocean, it would be very big. So, and take time around, and you can do R&D. So and if you so yeah, what we could do is, we can discuss about troubleshooting scenarios, and we can discuss about interview sessions. And so what I would suggest is, you guys do some practice, and if you think, right, any topic which you want to have a in-depth discussion, so let me know. What we do from now onwards, we'll have sessions during weekends, Saturday and Sundays. So do some practice, and whichever you feel you want to discuss, let me know through WhatsApp. We will have session on that during weekends. And anyways, Sandeep and Jyoti, whichever class, most of your classes are there already in the online. Few classes are not there. What I'll do, I'll upload those, because my share drive is full now. I'll upload those things in the YouTube, and I'll share you guys. So you can get you can check in your email, and and you can access your videos anytime through that links. And so yeah, if you get any doubts, you can let me know. We'll have classes during weekends. And if you are in a hurry, means that's fine. During weekdays also I am available, but during weekdays, now from tomorrow, since this month is changed, I'm available only in the morning timings. So you can let me know. We can have even during weekdays if it is required. Okay. And so right now, on your on, if you do you have any topics which you want to discuss, yeah, Jyoti or Sandeep? Any topic which you think we need to cover? Okay, fine. I'll go as per my choice. And but anyways, I'll let you know the class timing on Friday. We will sit again on Saturday after this class. Okay. So right now, this document is about request flow. Well, without reading document, what I want to say is, to start to start with request flow. If you press any website, right, say youtube.com on the browser. So first, what will happen, that request will reach to DNS servers. If you talk from browser level, the request will reach from DNS server. So in the DNS server, what will happen, this YouTube server, you have some DNS servers, so in that DNS server, this YouTube, this youtube.com would be assigned to some IP address. So that IP address would be IP address of your internal environment, your company. So say suppose right now, you can say that that IP address is related to your as per our knowledge right now in our environment, that IP address would be related to your IBM HTTP server, because the request in our environment, request will come first to HTTP server and then it will come to WebSphere. Okay, as we can just say like that now, but actually it won't be like this. It would be the IP address of your load balancer. So it would be the IP address of your load balancer, and then in your load balancer again, that IP address would be resolved to some YouTube whatever, and that IP address would be linked to your IBM HTTP servers. Say you are having three IBM HTTP servers, so that request will route from load balancer to your IBM HTTP servers, and from IBM HTTP servers the request will go to WebSphere. So I'll revise. So the moment you enter youtube.com on your browser, the request will go to the DNS servers. So in the DNS servers, that YouTube would be configured with some IP address. We say some DNS resolution, right? All those things. So that IP address would be your IP address of your load balancer, and then from load balancer it will reach HTTP servers or else Apache servers. From Apache servers it will reach to WebSphere. Well, yeah, in the Apache again you will be having plugin, and if the request is related to WebSphere, it will reach the WebSphere, or if it is not related to WebSphere, if it is request is related to static content, it will directly respond to Apache server. And again, if the request, what I would say, if the request it is related to database, then anyways it will reach WebSphere. From WebSphere it will reach to database, and then you will get the response from database. So this is a rough idea about request flow. Again, you may have to go through the plugin in depth. Plugin, right? If you go in interview standards, after this we'll open plugin and we'll see. Well, this is what it is there, whatever I told, right, it would be related to that in this document. And I'll place this theory also, and you can go through that. Well, so Raghu has joined the class, huh? No. Okay. Fine, I'll place this also.
Hello, Praveen.
Yeah, Sandeep.
I don't know about others, but I'm losing your voice in between.
Mm. So Jyoti and Neha, are you
It's
facing?
it's audible to me.
How about you,
I'm
Jyoti?
not losing it.
Okay.
And
Sandeep,
even I'm okay.
Sandeep, maybe you log out and log in. You can try
I'll be
that.
back.
Yeah.
I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, sure then. Yeah. So let us wait till Sandeep joins back, and then we'll start again. So Jyoti, we have just covered Linux commands yesterday. I believe you would be knowing most of those commands. So you no need to worry, but when you get some time, you can check the video on the YouTube. If you think anything is new, you can, yeah, you can make a note of it.
Okay.
Fine. So Sandeep, you're back, right?
Yes, Praveen.
Okay. Fine. So next, right? This is also in the real time. It will not happen. But this is an interview question. What in my environment, my securities would be related to domain controller, and everyone will just use the same logins which I use for desktop logins. Only sometimes we have to use some VAS admin, some specific user, which would have admin privileges to do some specific activities. We'll log into that user. So, but interview question, right? There is a people will ask, what you will do if you forget your admin password. They'll ask such kind of questions. Maybe in some environments they will have separate logins for deployment manager and separate logins for server. Maybe some companies will configure like that. So in such case, if you forget admin console password, in that case obviously you should log into the server where this deployment manager is configured, and you should log in through your root user or whichever user is having some root permissions. And you should go to the security.xml, and there are some certain settings. You should change some true to false, false to true, all those things. Disable the security from the security.xml file. So I should do this enable is equal to false, and I should save the file, and then I should restart the service, deployment manager service. Then once you do this, the security would be disabled. So again you should go to, anyways security is disabled. Now you can open admin console without password, and then from the admin console, anyways in the security section we have seen how to enable security. So you can just enable security and again give the username whichever you want to access the admin console, and you can enable back the security. So this is the interview question, and yeah, I'm giving you the notes for reference.
The
Yeah.
console will be accessible without username as well as password. Matlab, the
Yeah.
point we hit the URL, it will be open directly.
Exactly. If you do this, maybe these things we can try in the lab, but in the real time I never faced the situation. Enable security, and then after enabling security, uh, disable it by editing security.xml file, and then again go to admin console and enable it. Yeah, just do some practice, it should work. Yeah.
And if we want to change the password, matlab existing password in DMGR control, what is the path to change that?
In the DMGR, you would find users, and you will, in some session you would find users.
Okay.
Let me navigate. Yeah, security. Resources. Yeah, users and groups, administrator user roles. So here you can navigate, you would find your user, and manage users. Here you would find the user. So whoever is having root permissions, they can change the password of that user. It is in system administration. Got it right? Yeah.
Right now we cannot change because user is not there.
Yeah, and moreover security is not enabled to this deployment manager. Yeah. And so yeah, this is about like the question is what you would do if you forget your admin password. So that is the answer for this interview question. And just hold on. Okay, I place the document. Fine. Next, okay, definitions. JDBC, data source. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure such kind of small questions someone will ask. JDBC, data source, what is connection pool? Very small. Okay, these are just for information purpose. That's okay. And garbage collection. Well, I have a lot of notes for garbage collection. I believe I have already sent notes for garbage collection, right? Did I? Okay, that's fine. Okay, here I'm having garbage collection. Oh, okay, let me open this. Well, garbage collection I have discussed earlier, and I have sent you this document. Uh, yeah, to revise, right, in short, if I say garbage collection, they will mark the objects whichever is running, and they will assign memory. And whenever, so marking, that is called referenced, and the technical term, whenever object is not referenced, then a free space would be occurred. And what garbage collector will do, it will compact, it will bring all the referenced objects together, and it frees the space so that you can reuse the space. So I repeat, so garbage collector, it will mark the objects whichever are running, and it will allocate some memory. And when object dies, or if it doesn't runs, the technical term is it will unreference the object, and the unreferenced space would become free. So what they will do, it will bring all the referenced objects together, and it frees up the space, so that the memory can be reused. Okay, just read this document 2 or 3 times, then you will understand. So in general English, it will allocate the memory for running processes, and once the process dies, and once then it frees up the space, and it makes the space available to the next process to use the same memory. In general, you can say, if you feel technical terms are tough when someone asks, you can say in English, and maybe if you go 3 or 4 times this document, you'll get some technical terms as well. These documents I have all. Yeah.
This garbage collection, matlab, it's necessary for this garbage collection to occur. But it's like usually in our environment we have a monitoring alert if GC is taking so much time, and it's like we always monitor GC should not happen for much time. So why is it so? Matlab, it should happen, na? So why are we concerned about it happening for a longer time?
Okay. It's like this. Garbage collector consumes some performance, and there is some major garbage collection, minor garbage collection, and sometimes it affects the performance of the server. And so, and generally it happens only when your application is on high load. And so yeah, if garbage collection takes more time, the memory, you will have very less memory for the application to run. So there, you should take heap dump, thread dumps, and see, why it is happening. So which process is taking more time, which you should optimize, whether you can optimize the code, or whether you can optimize the query in the code, or you may have to really increase the maximum heap size. Monitoring we did not cover, so when you come to the monitoring, we'll discuss those things. So, yeah, initial heap size, maximum heap size. Did you hear this?
Yeah, no, the JVM, Java Virtual Machine,
Exactly.
we set the parameters, maximum
Yeah,
heap size and minimum heap
yeah.
size.
So, yeah,
And
those.
the GC also we define in that only JVM arguments.
Yeah. So we'll discuss in the monitoring little bit more. Based on your heap dump and thread dumps, based on your analysis, you should increase the heap size, maximum heap size, all those things you should do. So if garbage collection takes more time, you should take heap dump and thread dumps, and you should analyze and you should take the appropriate action. Whether you have to optimize the code or else you may have to increase the physical memory. Or else maybe that might have happened only at that particular instance, maybe because of some financial year or some whatever banking offers or whatever, maybe because of some particular reason load is high on that day, we cannot expect like that again, so you should analyze, um, you know yeah, maybe such situation will not occur again, such kind of things would happen, so we should analyze and take the action accordingly. Okay, these notes I'm not sending. You guys are already having. So whatever I have sent now, you can save at one file, and so these notes, anyways, now it would be only one file. I'll after the class I'll arrange and send you the file. It would be only one file. You can remove all the old files, and whichever apart from this file, whichever I have sent, you can save it in one folder. That's fine. And now, so this is about garbage collection. Garbage collection is mostly interview related. We don't, I mean, practically we don't involve much. We'll be having development team who knows much about code. So those in many companies, development team will deal with reading garbage, garbage collection and reading heap dump and thread dumps. So for interview purpose, you should know garbage collection. And trace route we have discussed yesterday, and packet capturing, yeah, we did not discuss yesterday. TCP dump, there is a command called TCP dump. This is very high level and this is not an interview question. This is just for just for information purpose. Sometimes they will say because of some network issues, we are losing the packets, they will say. In those cases, right, people, they can take TCP dump, you guys can analyze this. I'm just giving an idea. If there is any packet loss, they will go and they will use this command. But this is high level. People who are architect level, they will use such kind of things to analyze. So this is just an heads up. If you have some free time and do some R&D, you can just analyze about TCP dump command. So that if there are any network issues and if there are any packet losses, you can check uh, using this command. And if there are any network issues, means again network team will loop in Linux admin, not even Linux admins, network team, there is separate security teams would be there, they will check, and they will see router configurations, they will do all those things. So this is just an information purpose, so this can be used while troubleshooting. So yeah, packet capturing I'm giving it. Okay, in general, setting up heap dump and thread dumps is the most, when there is a complex issue and you are not able to resolve the issue. In those situations, you will do stray and setting up a trace in WebSphere. Only in rare cases you will do this, and I'm just checking the uh, let me read this once. For troubleshooting logs and trace, select basic trace. Okay, Okay, I gave the process how to create as trace. This records each and every action, and it gives more details in the logs. So there is some activity, some container is not working, some functionality is not working, or else there will be situations like it is working in development server but it is not working in prod server. People will come up with such kind of issues. They will say the same code, I'm using the same code, but it is working in development server but it is not working in production server. So they'll come with such kind of issues. When they say, when they come up with such kind of problems, and if you couldn't figure out with heap and thread dumps, then you can there is one more option called logs and trace. So let me just check once. Troubleshooting logs and trace, troubleshooting logs and trace. So let me say that I want to use it for this JVM. And then what is the path? Sometimes select the server to be traced. Diagnostic trace link. Diagnostic trace. Okay. And select configuration tab under tree output maximum file size. Okay, maximum memory log levels. Okay, here you can select all the details and click apply. OK, then it will start doing tracing and you will get trace log here. It will place that trace at this path, and this path, right, this is environment variable. If you want to search what is the value here, I mean what is the actual path, little technique is there here. You should go to environment variables. Yeah, you should go to environment. You should go to WebSphere variables. Here you should search here. I'm just searching that environment variable. So here again, there is a little bit technique. You should small technique here. So again, it is giving one more environment variable here, log root. So you should go to log root here. So log root is this path. Well, again, user install root. So this is user install root. So yeah, maybe a little confusion, but you'll figure it out. So okay, what I'm trying to say is, so if you do logs and trace, diagnosis trace. Well, if you go to this, you can go to this path and you can enable trace. And I just said how to navigate the path. So if you get any variable like this, right, you should copy the variable and go to environment variables, environment, and then WebSphere variables. And so yeah, you should, as I showed, you should keep on search here. So once you keep on search here, right, and you will get the path like this. So the whole point is you will get the path like this. At this path, that trace would be placed. Yeah, and yeah, it little bit lengthy, but I did not find easier way than this. So if you find anywhere environment variables, you can figure it out path like this by going to the WebSphere variables, search here and get the path. Okay, so Yeah, this is how you can do the trace and find out the paths. Okay, now fine, I'll copy this file, setting up trace. Well done. And apply some commands. I believe I have told you all of most of these commands. Okay, these things I covered yesterday. Um, okay, done. That's fine. Well, this is for if you have any SSL issues, you may get SSL handshake errors, and if you get any SSL handshake errors, there could be issue with SSLs. And for information purpose, what I could say is in the security. Yeah, in the security and in the global security. Okay, security is not assigned configured as of now. Well, I did not remember the path, but while covering security, I have showed you the path. Uh, you would get an option to export. You would get an option to exchange signer certificates. So while covering SSL, I have covered that. Let me check here. So if you get an SSL errors, right, you may have to exchange a signer certificate. Yeah. So you would find the signer certificates here, SSL certificate and key management. Yeah. So security is not enabled. We are not seeing those options. So yeah, once security is enabled, you'll get that options, I believe. So you can exchange signer certificates. Security. Okay, SSL certificate and key management, and then SSL key stores and certificates. Yep. Here, based on your environment, sometimes you can select and you can exchange the signers. What I would say is sometimes, if security is enabled, the whatever nodes you have federated, the nodes application server, say you have federated some XYZ application server. The application server's SSL certificate would be inputted here, and some secured configuration will get established. So by any chance, if these files are corrupted or by some configurations are changed, if you get some SSL issues, people they will exchange signer certificates. This is just again information purpose. You can do some R&D, and in your environment you can so you can exchange signer certificates. So if you get any SSL handshake errors, there could be some issue with SSL. You may have to exchange signer certificates, or else you can dig around accordingly. So let us open these documents and see what is this notes about. Okay, this is interview question. If someone asks what kind of SSL errors you get right, in those situations, you can say I have seen SSL handshake error, and to resolve those things, we have exchange signer certificates. You can say such kind of things. So this is about SSL error. Maybe you can go through these notes. I'll give these notes. The other notes is not so clear. Yeah.
What is the actually we enable and disable all these SSL and TLS now? What's the significance of this SSL and TLS?
Okay. SSL. Okay. What is this TLS?
But you might have heard that at load balancer we need to enable this SSL version 3, and I don't remember the versions exactly, but we need to make changes in the conf file also. And if it's at web server level, if it's load balancer level, then there we need to make changes. And in DMGR also there are some this SSL protocol that we enable and disable. But
Hmm.
I don't get to know the significance of that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
so I
Like,
just want to know.
yeah, I understand here. That is the whole thing here. The point here is every company will have their own standard method of configurations. So here, when you change the company, the environment will change. So better, whatever we do, we go in depth, and we understand the logics. So that's how we can learn. That is the best method to learn. So whatever we do in our office, better, we do some R&D, and why we are doing this, dig around and learn. That is the best method. Why? Because for example, in my company, mine is like one of the largest financial sector company. So in my company we are having many middleware tools. So we manage using middleware tools, and so we don't, in our architecture, we don't manually touch configuration files. So its automation is there, much automation is there. So yeah. And so I'm saying about my architecture. So here, right, in my architecture, generally, right, so the example which I gave is just simple. So when you federate, these SSL, SSL certificates will get exchanged. If they are not synchronized, you have to exchange the signer certificates. And so that's what I'm saying. So we have a set of documents again to do exchange signer certificates. And so like this, I mean, whatever we do, better you dig around. So maybe, you can give me a little bit more details. We'll sit. Anyways, we're sitting on Wednesday's class, right? You give me try to give me a little bit more details. I will dig around and let you know. I can do only that thing.
Okay.
The only problem is every company will have different method of configuration. So that is the only issue. Okay, fine. So yeah, this is about SSL handshake error, and JDBC help talks. Well, even if you navigate right, you would find JDBC, but I don't know these things. Maybe you can try. You can give a try on this, and I'll give you this also. If some these all are right interview people, they just want to ask some questions. They have to take interview for 30-40 minutes. They have to ask you some questions. So they simply they'll ask JDBC data source. In those situations, you should be able to say answers. So that's why you can just go through these things. And Java, well, apart from garbage collection, this is in very simple English way. Java heap and Java memory. Here, using JMap, you can take stack. Yeah, I believe heap dumps you can take using JMaps. Yeah, heap dumps you can take using JMap. And yeah, what is heap size, and when you will get out of memory. Well, if your garbage collection, you were saying it is taking long time, in those situations, the memory would get decreased, and you will get an error out of memory in your logs. So in those situations, the heap size would get filled. And here I gave you the definitions are very simple and good. What is Java heap and garbage collection? What is heap space in Java? So it is in simple English. You can go through this document first, and then you can go through the garbage collection document which I gave you earlier. Yeah, fine. And then okay, fine. This is again the same. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so whatever I have covered, right, you can expect few interview questions on these things, these topics. You can go through them. So, like, yeah, I just gave a glance about all these topics. So, do you have, like, in today's topics, whichever we have covered, do you think, which we can discuss it in depth, which you are confused, any topics today? Let me open. So, these are topics we covered: request flow, and then, yeah,
I'll study this and then we'll come back.
yeah, sure. So yeah, so to revise with, we just covered about request flow. This is interview question, and yeah, this is request flow. This is interview question, and this is for your own purpose, a deployment process. How exactly deployment runs, where exactly the ER file moves from each step by step. This is just to R&D for yourself, and this is SSL handshake. Yes, you see such kind of errors in the logs. So what you can take, what action you can take if you get such kind of errors. And yeah, interview question, how to reset if you forget your admin password. Packet capturing, this is for R&D purpose, just to have more knowledge. Setting up trace, if you have if you couldn't resolve the problem, then at the high standard you can go and set up a trace, log trace. This is interview question, people may ask, just I can say just for fun they will ask. So in those situations, you should know such kind of things to face interviews. And yeah, and apart from this, in before Saturday, I'll see, if I could cover any other topics which would be useful for which would be useful for interviews. And I'll yeah, we'll try to cover a few more new topics which would be useful for interviews. And just give me a moment. That's fine. I'll send you these documents after the class. And any questions for today, or any topics, any kind of questions you're having today? Okay. Fine then. What we'll do, so Saturday, shall we like make up our minds that we can have a class on Saturday evening again, Jyoti and Sandeep?
Okay, Praveen.
Yeah. And I will just hold on, suddenly my laptop charging is down. And in the meanwhile, I'll upload all the videos, whichever from when I started recording, and I'll share you across. And whenever you want, you can revise. But yeah, that's it. You can check your email. I'll share the videos. Yeah. Fine then. See you guys again on Saturday.
For me, it's
Yeah.
Wednesday morning, na 7 to 8. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. We'll meet on Wednesday morning. Yeah, please. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks all. Bye. Good day and good night. Bye bye.
Okay, fine.
Thanks. Bye.